Hi, my name's Graham Thompson. When I was a devout atheist, I saw the church as the best argument for atheism that there was. I've been a Christian for over 35 years and I still see the church as the best argument for atheism that there is. Needless to say, I did not come to faith through the church, and I've remained in faith in spite of the church, as much as I love it. According to the Daily Mail, the Archbishop of Canterbury waded in and backed the Chief Rabbi's broadside against Jeremy Corbyn for anti-Semitism. Let's take a look at what His Grace Justin Welby said. That the Chief Rabbi should be compelled to make such an unprecedented statement at this time ought to alert us to the deep sense of insecurity and fear felt by many British Jews. All that does is recognise that Britain's Jews have anxiety about Jeremy Corbyn. It does not address the validity of that anxiety. It's meant to look brave and bold, but what it is a complete cop-out. The rise of evil we have seen in the Labour Party is the evil that we defeated in 1945. Jeremy Corbyn hates Britain because Britain stands for Western values. Throughout our history, we have been at the forefront in the defence of Western values. He hates the Jews because the Jews are the fount of Western values. Our Lord Jesus Christ was born into Judaism.
Today, in your hearing, the scriptures are fulfilled.
Scriptures are fulfilled. Did he say fulfilled?
The Archbishop of Canterbury is not willing to suffer for the sake of Christ. Ever since he took office, all he has been interested in is ingratiating himself with the enemies of the church for the sake of a quiet life. There is absolutely no way that he will give moral leadership over Jeremy Corbyn. Before I go into the hope I have that our free press might fill the moral vacuum of the Archbishop of Canterbury, I'm going to cover something that I think is really significant. Douglas Murray, who many might say is to politics what David Attenborough is to natural science, was on Politics Live a few days ago with a Corbynista, Holly Rigby. This is what Ms. Rigby tweeted about that. Today I had to debate the racist, transphobic bigot Douglas Murray on Politics Live. As far as I can tell, the reason she called Douglas Murray a racist is because he supports controlled immigration. She supports a man, Jeremy Corbyn, who took part in a wreath-laying ceremony in tribute to terrorists who organised the 1972 Munich Olympic Games massacre of Israeli Jewish athletes for being Jews. After a history of supporting genocidal anti-Semites against Israel. This was Holly Rigby's response to the chief rabbi Ephraim Mirvis calling out Jeremy Corbyn as an anti-Semite. Chief Rabbi Mirvis is a Boris Johnson supporter. He's also an uncritical supporter of Netanyahu and the violent oppression of Palestinians by Israel. Labour is promising to recognise a Palestinian state and end arms sales to Israel. His comments must be taken in this context. And then on the left, she's got a screenshot of the chief rabbi welcoming Boris Johnson as Prime Minister, which she tries to portray that the chief rabbi is a political supporter of Boris Johnson. Every faith leader welcomes a new Prime Minister. The Muslim Council of Britain welcomed Boris Johnson as the new Prime Minister. And then on the right, she tries to portray the chief rabbi supporting Israel's right to defend itself from rocket attack as the violent oppression of Palestinians by Israel. Anti-Semitism to refute anti-Semitism. Corbynistas call people racist at the drop of a hat. The criteria she used, or she has, for calling Douglas Murray a racist is nowhere near 1/10 of the criteria the chief rabbi used for saying that Jeremy Corbyn is an anti-Semite. And as is the case with Corbynistas, instead of addressing that criteria, she pretends it doesn't exist and slimes the messenger instead. She took down her tweets about the chief rabbi, but not before the news site GUIDO folks came upon them and went through her Twitter account and came up with this delightful tweet. Corbyn will be blamed and soft left candidate Emily, Friends of Israel, Thornbury, will be positioned to take his place. After GUIDO published that, she deleted her Twitter account completely. If you've got any doubt that she's as anti-Semitic as her leader Jeremy Corbyn, take a look at her reaction on Politics Live to the words Jewish community.
But there are issues that are clearly bubbling along underneath the surface. I think your video before about the Jewish community in Leeds is one of those. And it's interesting. Video before about the Jewish community in Leeds is one of those. And
this is the type of person who will be running the country if Jeremy Corbyn wins the general election. If you've ever wondered why so few people in the Jewish community have ever directly said Corbyn is an anti-Semite, Chief Rabbi Ephraim Mirvis gives an explanation for that in the article he had published in the Times. We have learned the hard way that speaking out means that we will be demonized by faceless social media trolls and accused of being partisan or acting in bad faith by those who still think of this as an orchestrated political smear. Yet, I ask myself, should the victims of racism be silenced by the fear of yet further vilification? It should not be down to our Jewish community to call something out that has been blindingly obvious to us all for the last 4 years, when hardly anyone directly says Jeremy Corbyn is an anti-Semite. It's not surprising that so many people are willing to give him the benefit of the doubt in the ballot box. Between Mr. Corbyn's Mephistophelian ability to deceive, the willingness of Ramonas to have the Third Reich to stop Brexit, mass voter fraud, and our insane first-past-the-post electoral system. There is every chance that on the morning of the 13th of December, Mr. Corbyn could be walking through the door of 10 Downing Street as Prime Minister. The hope I have to stop that happening is that our newspapers, the Times, the Telegraph, the Mail, the Express, the Sun, will follow the lead of our Jewish press from last year with United We Stand, and publish their own joint front page editorial with the headline, "Corbyn is an anti-Semite. United we stand with Britain's Jewish community." Unless something like that happens, I really do fear that on the morning of Friday the 13th of December, we could be waking up to a Britain that is part of the axis of evil with Iran. In the name of God, we cannot let that happen.